Welcome back to Sugar Beats. Love you guys so much, man. We got AJ here with us today.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
AJ's a pretty funny guy. I think we got a lot of the same kind of friends, although I don't know if we've met very much. I think I've seen you a couple times.
So I think I was going to bring it up. I think the one show that we met on was Adriel Campion's show at the Shrine, the old one, the Worst Generation show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because
yes.
I think you were in the improv group for that, right?
Yeah, I was.
Fun show, by the way. Good time, yeah.
I love Adriel. You know, when you're blind and you're still doing stuff up on stage, man, why?
Dude,
that's awesome.
it's crazy to watch that kid do crowd work because he just points at empty chairs and just starts talking into the void. Like, it's insane,
man.
and he's so confident about it, too. I could never.
Well, the best part is when you're up on stage, a lot of times the light makes you so you can't see anyway. So I think he's on equal footing for the most part.
I always felt bad for you guys whenever you were in the booth or anything, trying to light Adriel. Like, I don't know how you do that. Whenever we would do a show with him, he would set like a vibrate alarm on his phone so that it would go off, and then he would know when he had to leave.
For you guys that don't know Adriel is, 2025. Really, really funny guy. He's got a challenge with his site, and I went through a couple improv classes with him. We did a couple improv sets with him, a couple shows. He's a real go-getter.
Good kid.
I think he's got a chance of going big.
Yeah, well, and it's such an original thing to be like a blind comedian.
Yeah.
It does give him a lot of setbacks, but it's also, I think, what sets you apart probably.
Well, and he doesn't use that like a crutch, you know.
No,
he
never.
Like, you know, hey, we're just here. So.
Right. It's funny though, just because again, like, there's so many weird, like the crowd work thing, or like I've seen him host before, and he doesn't know where the microphone is because no one set it down, you know?
Oh, even better when you're doing improv, you know, you got to relate with people. You're feeding off each other.
Right.
And some of it's actually moving around or stuff. And I watched him a lot of times, like, you're over here, and he's like, it's like, okay.
Yeah, or even just like a head signal, like a head nod at someone. Like he can't get verbal or visual cues, really.
Right. Yeah, I love that guy, man.
Yeah.
I wish nothing but the best for him.
I did his podcast, actually.
He's got a podcast.
Him and Sean Blakely have a podcast.
Oh, what's it called?
It's called Drunken Jesters.
Drunken Jesters.
Yeah, and I did that podcast, and I just told Sean, like, he's so much of a better person than me, because if I was doing a podcast with Adriel, I would just face him away from the mic and, like, put him in a different room and just wait till he noticed, you know?
Now, do they have to get lit in order to be doing the podcast?
I don't know. They wanted me to get, like, really drunk, which I say horrible things sober. So, like, I don't want to get too intoxicated. But, yeah, they had, like, a rule where, like, if you, like, name dropped another comic and talked shit, you had to take a shot of Everclear.
Oh,
which,
wow.
for those of you that don't know, is, like, 90 proof alcohol.
Yeah,
and
it's
just,
the good stuff.
Yeah,
it's the good stuff. Top
it's
shelf.
Gasoline. It's, yeah. But that was the rule, was like if you talk shit about a comic, you have to drink a shot of Everclear.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm just not going to talk shit because I get a light stomach.
I don't know a comic I don't like.
That's a good point.
I guess there are some out there that maybe I shouldn't like, but I like them all. They're all odd ducks, man.
Yeah, and it's like I respect anyone that's going to go up on stage for the most part, you know?
Well, yeah. I've been in a lot of open mics that I'm like, shouldn't be that open.
Right. I was just talking to someone about this last night where they were like, it was like an older comic that had been around for a while, and he was just like, yeah, the scene is like too supportive now in like a bad way. Like everyone will go up there. That's why I like certain city mics, like a trigger warning every once in a while, because like it just humbles you a little bit.
Well, you know, it used to be with an open mic, you'd have like 20 spots, and, you know, if it filled up, then you're bumped. And then it got to a point sometimes where, okay, were you good enough to get in? Because then you started, okay, this guy sucked last time, let's not get him on this time. But you know what? I really like the Comedy Shrine had those marathons of, it's 1 o'clock in the morning and we got 3 more guys to go. Okay, we can do it.
I think I hosted one of the 45-person ones, and that was fucking brutal. Oh my God. Just have to sit through that as a host and just, yeah.
I remember doing lights for that one. AJ came up to me and he was just like, "Bro, you're my corner. Like I feel like Rocky."
Yeah,
we're in
dude.
the
Colin's sitting in the booth. I'm literally coming back, sitting on the stool with like a washcloth on my head, just trying to get fluids in me. I felt like I was gonna pass out because I had done so many stairs, just going back and forth 45 times
That's
up on
so
stage.
great. That's so great. Well, I know Tom did it all those years. I mean, he did what, 3 years, 4 years in a row.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, you know, at some point, you got to have a vacation or something.
Right. Well, and it's a very thankless job too, because I mean, if you're hosting, like you're not supposed to be the best guy on the show.
Yeah.
You're just teeing up everyone else.
I love the newbies. You know, people that never did it before. Either they got drunk enough to take it, or they really felt they had a chance. And man, there's something about newbies getting up there. Just even if they're terrible and there's a train wreck and the plane's burning on the side of the mountain, I still feel good for them. It's like,
Yeah.
you went for it, man. Way to go.
I hosted an open mic this weekend, and some woman goes up on stage, and she's never done comedy before, and she brought the whole front 2 rows. So I kind of have to be like nice, like no matter what. I'm like, even if she could slur, she could say she could just say some horrible Holocaust related material. It doesn't matter. I still have to be nice to her. And she does 13 minutes.
I miss those days when you could have Holocaust material.
I think you still can.
I don't know. I get a little sensitive. I think it's
know,
too soon.
I don't know if this is the podcast for it, but do we believe in the Holocaust? I mean, do we think it happened? I don't know.
Well, I wasn't there, so I can't give you a first-hand account. But
Yeah.
there's enough film on the History Channel that something happened somewhere.
Every once in a while, I'll go down like the YouTube rabbit hole of documentaries and just come out on the other side with some very different opinions.
So what conspiracy really grabs at you? What's one like killing you?
The Epstein stuff is interesting.
Oh man!
Again, another thing that like, just I should not know this much stuff about, but I'm just like, damn, there's really some, like, there are some like political government pedophile organizations.
And like 12 or 15 years ago, you had Alex Jones screaming, "There's an island they're going to and having sex with kids," and I'm like, come on, no one does that.
I think he waters
There's a whole
down his
crowd.
stuff though, because every once in a while he'll be like, "They're turning the frogs gay," and you're like, "Well, that just ruined everything else you said."
Yeah, I'm not sure that I would use Alex Jones as my guide into the future, but
no, but
I think it's still funny.
The political pedophile stuff, I think there's some real truth to that.
And why is it? What's going on with? Did he just get bored?
I don't know.
When does it get fun messing with a kid?
It's got to be a power thing, right?
I don't know.
Because like that's the only thing that gets you off anymore is just like being in like a higher position of power.
I don't know, man. You know, you got to have a bit of a soul. You got to have something.
Yeah.
You know,
I think if I was Hunter Biden, I would do exactly what Hunter Biden is doing. I've developed that opinion. Yeah, I think I'd be living. I think if I was the son of a former vice president, current president, no responsibilities in life, I'd probably just live it up. You know.
He doesn't. His lifestyle does not shock me at all.
No.
And the one side who's all holier than thou, I have a problem with, but I also have a problem with the other side that says nothing to look at, no problem.
Right.
It's like,
right.
Wait a minute. He's got a whole laptop full of stuff. Come on.
Oh yeah, let's dig into it. Yeah. But like it's so funny to like watch those videos of him, like the stuff that leaked, and you can just hear like the heavy breath in the background.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's into it. You know, he's committed to that life because you're never gonna be like he's never gonna be more professional or like surpass his dad. You know.
How did he sell his art for like $200,000 and $300,000 a piece?
No idea. Probably just the namesake. It's the same thing with like NFTs. Like if Snoop Dogg drops some piece of shit art, like it's gonna sell. You know. Because it's Snoop Dogg.
But I look at that art, man. It's hard.
I never saw it. Is it any good?
Oh, it's god awful.
It's that bad?
God awful.
Is it like finger painting bad, or what is it?
It's sort of like you ever watch Bob Ross and he paints something pretty nice in like 30 minutes?
Yeah.
It's like if Bob Ross was totally drunk, stoned, and was completely paraplegic with both hands and it's made of art. That's almost exactly what it looks like to me.
I could see that actually. Yeah. he probably was fucked up when he made it, you know?
I'm sure he was.
There's probably like vomit mixed into it, with the paint and everything. He probably did a little bit of that.
I leave a little bit of me in everything I do.
Yeah. It's probably all bodily fluids, if we're being honest. I used to watch Bob Ross with buddies in high school when we were like,
Ross
after
is awesome
after
guy,
a party, if everyone's like
Yeah.
kind of drunk and you just want to like sit
Yeah.
down and relax, it's a perfect thing to throw on.
The dude is so chill.
Mhm.
It's like, I used to watch him doing these paintings. I'm like, happy trees, man. You're right. They do look happy. It's like, freak me out. Freak me out.
Okay, but didn't he commit suicide?
I don't think so.
Did he? Jamie,
I
look
think
it
it was
up. No, I'm kidding.
fentanyl. I think it was fentanyl.
Was
that
it
got
fentanyl?
him. Yeah, I think it's fentanyl that got him.
Okay,
It's like Michael Jackson and Prince.
that also makes sense. Yeah,
Those fentanyl guys.
fentanyl got Mac Miller, a whole bunch of other. I mean,
Getting like 100,000 people a year now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really popular.
well, I saw. I don't know if this is true, but like Vice posted something, and it's like the smallest like cell microscopic thing of fentanyl, and they're like, this is enough to kill 10 people or whatever.
You know what a grain of salt is?
Yeah, yeah. And at the same time, you're like,
That's 10 times more than you could have.
you're like, there's no way that's true, but it is crazy to think about.
So I need to end the Bob Ross slander.
Uh-oh.
Bob Ross just died of lymphoma.
No way.
Just lymphoma, like no drugs.
Oh,
just
No
lymphoma.
drugs at all?
Just,
Oh, Bob,
just
sorry
lymphoma.
about that,
I mean,
man.
hopefully he did.
But
some
here's
drugs.
the thing. Let's make the story more interesting.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
say it was a drug suicide because it's funnier. It's way better that way.
Yeah, it's hard to write lymphoma into a joke.
Yeah,
you know?
well, he was such an entertaining person. What a boring death for him, you know?
It was chill, though. I got to
Right.
tell you, just wither away.
Like, there
Oh.
had to have been a moment when, like, Elvis died on the toilet when his publicist was like, we got to make up a better story. You know what I mean? That had to have happened, right? Like, do you, like
man.
Biggie getting shot? Like, what if he just, like, choked on a big nugget or something?
That's probably what happened.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'm
they can't
telling
put
you.
that story out there.
Well, McDonald's would squash that too, man. You
True,
talk about
true.
conspiracies.
Yeah.
Fast food doesn't allow any of the bad stuff to get out there.
Yeah.
So.
That, I mean, yeah.
Oh,
Poor Bob Ross, honestly.
I love the guy.
I love him, but I feel like he's become a meme a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, the
man.
people have, like, made it into a joke, you know?
But the guy is like so righteous.
Yeah.
You know? Oh man, I just so many hours of that massive. Because I'm a pretty intense dude, and
Mm-hmm.
to watch him not be intense was a curiosity to me.
Sometimes
Especially
it
when he
helps.
screwed up. Like, oops, don't worry about it. It's just
you-
another mountain.
Do you think there is, like, a bunch of cut footage of him just, like, stabbing employees and just, like, beating up interns, you know?
Doing an Ellen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
That's awesome. Man.
That would be wild. And then he's like, happy little trees. And
Could
he
you
just hops
imagine
right back
Ellen
into it.
painting?
Ellen painting would be fun.
Oh man, that'd be charismatic as all get out, man.
Well,
She'd
that'd be cool.
dancing and painting.
Well, because she would just, like, make all of, like, her interns clap for her, like, in unison, you know? That would be fun. I'd watch the shit out of that.
I love forced clapping. North Korea, Ellen, all
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
I mean, it's really.
I mean, listen, if we're going to go for a dictator, Ellen is not a bad option. We could have worse ones.
Yeah.
She just ran a talk show her whole life. She would just come out and just address us in that manner, you know?
When you talk about female leadership,
Good
you're not
point.
really thinking dictatorship. But then again, it makes sense.
A female dictator, I think, would be a better dictator.
It does make sense to me. 'Cause at
100%.
least you're like, yeah, it sucks, but it could be worse.
Especially if she's hot. I mean, come on. Yeah. I think it'd be way easier for a female in, like, this era to become a dictator. Because I feel like whenever they see, like, the like traditional, like, male politician, it's like it kind of strikes, like, a little, like, sense of like, you're suspicious about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, no one.
And with a female, you're just thinking about how hot she would be.
Right. No one's.
Yeah.
Like
Listen,
an OnlyFans dictator.
OnlyFans dictator would be cool. I think this is my hot take. I think porn stars are going to become politicians.
I think some of them already
some
are. Bill
point.
Clinton was elected. Come on.
Well, at some point they have to. Like, at some point they have to. You can't be a 60-year-old porn star. You got to graduate to something. You know.
I don't know. 60-year-old porn stars, I sure have their niche right now.
That is true.
I don't want to talk about their niche, but there's probably a niche
There's
for them.
probably exists. Yeah.
Oh man.
Do you? Okay. Honest question. So, how old are you? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm 58.
58. Okay. So, I have been watching, like, adult films or so for probably 8 years. I guess I don't know. But
Since
I
you
feel
were 10.
probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, that's not 13.
8.
13. How old, Bob? Do you think I'm 14? What are you talking about?
Well, I was trying to help you out here. I'm sorry. Most people want to think they're a little younger than they are.
I just need to be able to have a driver's license. but
Oh, that's right. You're at least 21.
I'm at
sorry
least
about
21.
that. At least 21.
but my point is, in all the years that I've been watching adult film, like, the age of the women I've been into has never gone up, and I'm a little bit worried about that.
Well, were you into MILFs to begin with, or?
No, I was always into, like, the barely legal thing,
Oh, okay.
which I think is fine when I'm 21, maybe not when I'm 35. You know? So does it go up at all?
I don't know.
Like, do one day you're just like,
When
I'm
you
into the
say it
moms
doesn't
now.
go up, I don't really want to make comments about any of that stuff. But I usually make the girlfriends happy. So
Fair,
however
fair.
that works out, I don't
Fair.
know for sure. But no, porn's a weird thing because when I was a kid, we had Playboy,
right?
and then we had Penthouse, and we were really racy, because we'd page through the 1 month, once a month kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the internet started happening when I was like I don't know, my almost 30, 28, something like that. And so internet porn began to be something like that, but there was still a big taboo on it.
Right.
And somewhere in the last 10, 15 years, all of a sudden that just washed away, and it's like porn is normal, and, you know, as long as you're not giving it to 3-year-olds, I think you're probably okay. And so I think what's gone on is our culture's really shifted. And now I actually see the last 5, 6 years now, I'm hearing these weird things like, we need to stop porn. And these are people that have looked at porn for 10, 15 years. They're like, my soul is completely destroyed, or I can't get it up anymore, or whatever it is. I mean, it's like, I think because we didn't know as a society, was it a problem or not, but it was fun. We just did fun, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh yeah, there might be a little bit of dark side to this.
Yeah,
you know?
I went to a Catholic high school.
Okay.
And so my sophomore year of high school, I was 16. They did a seminar on why porn is bad, like to the whole school, like a gymnasium full of kids.
Okay. Was it a hot nun, or was it a priest that was telling you
No,
this?
it was like an older man.
Okay.
But the second they started talking about it, like some kid just yelled out, "I'm hard," like as loud as he could. And that was kind of the mantra for the whole, like no one took it seriously. You know what I mean? I do think there's a problem with porn addiction, but I just don't think you can target it that young. Because like they're not going to take it seriously.
See, this is what I think. And I really feel this way in a lot of things. You need to protect the innocence of kids. Let them be a kid for a while. Why are we sexualizing when they're 3, 4, 5, 6 years old?
True.
Let them play some baseball and, you know, get the Barbies out or whatever. You know, why are we trying to make these kids sexualized at such a young age? They're not even close to puberty. It's kind of, I think, I don't know if it's weird or not, but I think it's awful for the kids. I remember I learned about, you know, getting horny when I was about 12.
Right.
Because up till then, we were just playing Army, and we were playing baseball, and we were basketball and football. You know, it was all just fun. And then all of a sudden, we realized, oh, there's another layer to life. And so at least I had like 12 years of not worrying about it. I can't imagine if you're 4 or 5 years old and you know more about it than most 60-year-old guys.
Yeah.
Because you've seen it all, more than all sometimes. It's like...
It's gone so far with kids. Man. Like, I have younger cousins on my dad's side. They're all, it's 5 boys. They're all younger than me. Except for, actually, one of them is slightly older. But the 4 of them are younger. And one of them, like, their whole grade, like, kids get busted for vaping in, like, 6th grade. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but we were stabbing each other when we were 10 or 12.
That's true.
You know, we had violence going on.
You just didn't have the resources.
We just didn't know about the sex part until I was 12.
You didn't know that was an option, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
You actually might have been better off. Right, we're not advocating for child sex, but I mean, hey, maybe it would stop school shootings, you know?
I don't know. I look at it this way. Even older people have a hard time when there's breakups. There's an emotional thing that goes on in the brain, and it's hard for people to deal with.
Yeah,
and they deal with it in different ways. I can't imagine when you're 5 or 7 or 10 or 12 and you're going through those same exact kind of emotional tears. You don't have any toolbox to work with.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
You know, it wouldn't shock me if we had a lot more shootings if, you know, this stuff was like kindergarten.
What do you think the solution is? Do we just get rid of the internet for people under 12?
No.
It's like I've heard like totalitarian and stuff like that.
It's not going away. I think what needs to happen is, I think, first of all, every pedophile needs to die.
That would be...
Just kill them all.
It'd be a great start, yeah.
And that way, well, and I'm serious, because then everyone else knows you cross this line, you're dead. You know, it's like when the mob lives in your block. You cross a certain line, you're dead.
There's a fear that comes with it then.
It's a knowledge that you don't cross that line. And so I think all pedophiles just need to die. And not, you know, oh, one gets off, one doesn't. No, they're all just dead.
Death penalty.
So at least kids get a chance. They get a chance. I believe in freedom in a lot of ways, but there is limits when it comes to kids. I think you really got to protect them from people that are just evil. And so that's why I would fight for the innocence of a kid. Like mutilation right now is a big thing. You know, you're telling a 2-year-old knows that they're trans or something. We need to give them chemicals to mutilate them. Screw that. I mean, no 2-year-old knows anything.
I do think that the problem with the education thing, like, it's give the kids all the info. Give them all the facts. Don't give them opinions.
I don't know. I think everyone's got opinions.
Right, but my point is this. So I went Catholic high school, Catholic middle school, everything. We were getting opinions from like 40-year-old virgins
Right.
as teachers.
Right.
Like no one gives a shit about their opinion. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
why they became a teacher, is to just
But why'd your parents
shove it on
Why'd your
little
parents
kids.
put you in a Catholic school then?
Truthfully, because the high school that I was supposed to go to district-wise, there was like 6 stabbings the year before
Yeah.
I went.
That's exactly why
So
they
it
do
was
it.
like, this is probably a
This
good idea.
isn't good, but that's a lot worse. That's
Very
usually
true,
what
yeah.
I see. You know?
Yeah. I do think I would have been a better comedian with the stabbings. I think that might have made me funnier.
Well, you want to kill when you're a comedian.
Oh
so.
yeah. I mean, if I would have seen some shit, I think, because I sold weed at the private school, so like I couldn't
Right.
imagine what I would have done at the public school.
So, growing up Catholic
Mm-hmm.
is a very common thing in America for sure.
Yeah.
It's not like you're in Saudi Arabia where there's only 5 Catholics total in the country.
Is that I don't know Saudi Arabia.
I'm sure it's less than that. Probably they kill all the Christians, or at least.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. I was
they're
like,
not-
how is
they
it
don't
only
do
5? And
well.
I was like, oh, it's intentional. They
no.
try to keep them down. Yeah.
I'm sure with there's got to be a few.
There's
a
there's
few
handful,
everywhere. So, but growing up with Catholicism, does that now? Are you an atheist now? Do you hate God, or are you still kind of love God, but you're like, not too much for religion, or I love religion too. I don't. Where you at with all that
I
stuff?
definitely don't love religion,
Okay.
but I don't. I wouldn't call myself atheist by any means. I just like. I think it's I guess agnostic would be the closest thing you could say.
Sure.
I think it's kind of like it's almost arrogant to just be like we know exactly what's out there because like I don't.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I do. I think it's much more comforting to believe in religion. It's very scary to just like go down that rabbit hole of just like what if it just all goes black and then that's it. You know what I mean? Like what if we're just like plants?
Yeah.
Then that's freaky, So it's like it's much easier for me to sleep at night if I'm like there's a dude up in the sky somewhere helping us out.
Well, no, I understand that, and it is comforting in some ways. But I was just curious because I know a lot of Catholics. I grew
Yeah.
up in a mafia-enriched neighborhood, so
My
everyone was Catholic.
My sister was the same way, grew up Catholic, and she's like hardcore atheist now.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of that upbringing. It's just like
Yeah.
it was shoved down her throat her whole life, and now she's against it.
Yeah.
But my question is, does that happen now on the flip side with like the gender stuff being shoved down kids' throats so much? Did they grow up and just go wildly conservative because of that?
Well,
Because they're just like, fuck this, I want to be rebellious, I'm sick of it.
I think kids are smarter than most people give them credit for.
True,
true.
true.
and so
There
it's,
are,
like,
by the way,
weird.
there are some very stupid kids. There are, they for sure exist. I mean, you ever like meet a kid and you're just like, wow, I mean, they should have just
Yeah.
left it,
Yeah. Well, there's a spectrum of smartness, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think most of the kids we grew up around out here are pretty smart, but like, yeah, I mean, I had
don't
friends that used to like snort candy off of desks and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, really dumb kids.
Well, I had friends that sniffed glue all the time, but I don't know about the candy part.
Yeah.
They used to eat the glue too.
Eating glue
I
was a
don't
big
know.
thing. I had a girl I knew in middle school. She used to keep her pet goldfish in her water bottle and like
No
drink out of
way.
it. Yeah, like they would share a water bottle.
How's that possible?
I don't know. Well, she just drank fish pee for like 12 years of her life.
God. Well, hopefully it's just pee.
Hopefully, I mean,
All right.
she probably ate the fish at some point. Is what I'm trying to say. Like that scene Wolf of Wall Street where they just eat it raw. It was,
Oh yeah.
that was my middle school.
In
class.
college we did that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know about anywhere else, but it's like super sushi or something. Hopefully her name wasn't Susie, then it'd be really a stutter kind of thing.
No, it was Lauren. If Lauren, if you're watching this, I remember that shit. All right, and I know that you're somehow in college now, and I'm gonna send this to your
I
school.
love it. So AJ,
Yeah,
you do podcasting. Obviously, you're with us with
I
Sugar
do.
Beet today.
Mhm.
You see, I got like a little crazy setup.
you
here.
got.
But,
First of all, thank you for having me. And you got one of the craziest setups I've seen. I've done some cool podcasts. This is wild. Yeah.
Well,
I
we
mean,
have fun, man. We
Yeah,
really
I
do.
feel like when you see this on video, you would never guess that it's just like in an apartment. You know what I mean? Which is the goal. When you see ours, you're like, oh, they're in a bar. Like you
Yeah.
know it. You know what I mean?
That's a great backdrop, man.
Yeah, it's
So, what's your podcast called?
called Who Are We?
Who Are
It's
We?
with two good buddies of mine, Mark Karski and Dylan Mahler. They're good
Okay.
dudes.
You like doing it?
It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very like, we've done a whole bunch of episodes at this point. We're filming 2 more today, which is just
Oh,
like-
really?
yeah, we're doing.
Wow.
We always do like a boys only episode with just like us, and then we bring on guests.
Okay.
And so we're doing one of each today because
All
we're
right.
behind from last week.
Well, is it on YouTube or
It's
where's
on
it at?
YouTube. It's at Mark Karski's channel. Just look up Who Are We podcast.
Who Are We?
Who Are We Comedy on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming by.
Dude, thank you so much for having me.
You're more than welcome all the time. You know, we like to goof around. I really like the comedy scene. I've done some stand up. I've done a little bit of this and the other. I really just want to keep pushing people forward, help them to do whatever they're going to do because life is good, man. I got to tell you, as much as people think it sucks, it's pretty doggone decent.
And it's better when it's funny.
It is.
It's way better when it's funny.
It is. So, thanks a lot. Thanks again for checking out Sugar Beats. I'm sure you'll check out AJ and Who Are We?
Yeah.
And man, this guy is a hilarious guy. If you ever see his billboards go up as far as stand up,
Let's hope so.
go for it, man. This guy rocks. So thanks so much. Take care, and we'll talk to you again.